Hey, it's No Flash. What's up? What's up? So we're gonna discuss some things, okay? Regarding this boycott. Probably tomorrow or maybe tonight. Once I review what's going on with the Carmelo Anthony case, we'll probably discuss that too. But I definitely want to talk about this boycott against the Asian community. I want to go over some things, but let me just allow some time. I got my frankincense burning, and I got some sacred music playing to get the atmosphere right and no interference, right? Because this is serious, and we got to get serious. We really do. We have to get serious, definitely, for sure. So let me see.
Slow hips deep, swam nose, truth I don't become. I remember
This is Segi Tulu Naha. It's Sayge, Segi. I got that. Tulu, Tolo, Naa, Naya. She has some awesome sacred music where you can also do somatic dancing for your nervous system, release a lot of that negative energy. We're going to get into that. My knees don't be cooperating, but we're definitely going to get into that for sure. But we're going to get into what I came here for. I'm just going to let some music play for a little while, and then we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it for sure. I have my laptop on. Yes, I could be able to read the information to you that I want to provide you. Let me just turn it so I don't be looking like I'm not paying you guys attention. And I won't be on here long, not at all. But I think this is something that definitely needs to be discussed. Because it's crazy. As a black person, if you want to own a black beauty supply store, they're blocking it. It's just so much. And we really have to take a stand. We really do. We really do. I'm not going to be here sitting here too long. Oh, my legs. Okay, let me sit back. Got all my craft stuff underneath my table. I just got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. A lot of craft stuff. I'll tell you. Paints. The thing that you have the canvas on. I got threads, needles, paper, craft paper. I have things where you make t-shirts. I have the Cricut. I have stuff in the closet, the iron. I got it all. I just got to get back into it to make my money. But you got to have money to make money. So that's definitely, because we're going, black businesses definitely got to come into fruition for sure. Okay. So while I'm waiting, I'm calling out all black hairdressers, all black people that know how to do nails, makeup. What happened to our Friday fries where we went to a neighbor and bought dinner on a Friday and a Saturday. Some people even on a Sunday. Where's our candy ladies? Where's the lady that sell candy in the Lucy's? You know, we need to get back to that. We really do. We really do. It's crazy. And not allow them to stop us. So that's the problem. They come in and they destroy what we built. And so after defeat, after defeat, after defeat, after defeat, after defeat, it weakens us. It really weakened us. To not being optimistic. It's just crazy. It really is. But I want to go over the Black Code with you. So let's get into it. We're going to go into the initial creation of it, and we're going to talk about the current status of it, okay? So I hope everybody's doing well. And I just hope some people review this video. I play around on here, and sometimes I don't be serious. I just be playing. But when it comes to being pro-black and the racism, I don't play. I really don't. Not at all. So let's go into the historical context of the Black Codes. Okay, so following the end of the Civil War and the ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865, former Confederate states enacted a series of laws known as Black Codes. The primary intent of these laws was to restrict the freedom of newly emancipated African Americans and compel them to work in a labor economy based on low wages or debts. Okay? Let's get into it a little deeper. While specifics varied by state, common provisions included vagrancy laws, making it a crime for a black person to be unemployed. Those arrested for vagrancy could be fined, imprisoned, or sentenced to forced labor on plantations. We're going to talk about the current state because they're still operating under that Black Code. Labor contracts, forcing freed men to sign annual labor contracts with white landowners. If a worker left before the contract ended, they forfeited all back wages and were subjected to arrest. Restriction on freedom of movement and assembly, prohibiting black individuals from residing in certain areas, limiting their right to own or carry firearms, and restricting public gatherings without specific oversight. All right, so let me go down a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about how the Black Code currently is operating. So when historians and legal scholars, civil rights advocates discuss the current status or the modern equivalent of the Black Codes, they focus on systematic, and structural racism. While the original Black Codes of the 1860s explicitly used the word black to restrict freedom, today's mechanisms are hidden behind racially neutral language. The language, okay? And administrative paperwork. The outcomes, however, mirror the old systems, restricting wealth creation, limiting freedom of movement, extracting cheap or forced labor. The modern mechanisms functions similarly to the historical codes across several key areas. Let's get into it. The 13th Amendment loophole and mass incarceration. The original black codes weaponized vagrancy laws to arrest black people and force them back into plantation labor. That was back then. Let's talk about what's going on now. The modern status. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery except as a punishment for a crime. Today, the criminal legal system functions as a massive apparatus of social and economic control. How it works. Policies like disproportionate sentencing laws. That's disproportionate. Disproportionate sentencing laws. Historical disparities between crack and powder cocaine. Now that crack and that cocaine, it shift. It did a shift. It really did. For the natural eye, as well as for the spiritual realm, it really did a shift. That cocaine and crack era wiped out the most powerful generation and destroyed the generation that they were raising as kids. Destroyed it. That's the reason our black kids is out here killing. That's the reason they're out here zombified. Some of them survived it. Some of them really did. But a lot of them didn't. And it hurt and it hate. And life just beat them down behind this. They became millionaires selling it. It proved that they knew how to run a business. But when they saw that they were making too much money and living life lovely, because in New York, every precinct, every cop was down with it until it went into the white communities. And then that's when the uproar began. That's when they start cracking down. But not before they destroyed a whole black culture. We gotta stay on point. Aggressive over-policing in black neighborhoods. And a predatory cash bail system that locks up people simply for being poor. Once in the system, incarcerated individuals are frequently utilized for sub-minimum wage labor, often pennies an hour, for private corporations and state entities. Private corporations funds the prison. And guess who those private corporations are? The entertainment industry. The entertainment industry has a lot to do with this. Do your research. Let's go further. Collateral consequences. The new vagrants laws. Under the old black codes, a criminal record meant a permanent loss of legal rights and forced labor. The modern status today. Today, having a felony conviction triggers what legal scholars call collateral consequences. A modern legal status that permanently restricts a person's ability to integrate into society. How it works. In many states, a conviction legally bars individuals from accessing public housing, receiving food assistance, securing student loans, obtaining a professional license like barber or cosmetology, entrepreneurship, killing it, blocking it. This creates a legal cycle where individuals are locked out of the formal economic, effectively criminalizing poverty, much like the vagrancy law of the 1865. That's serious. We gotta know our history. We got to know our history. And this black code that they created in 1865 is still active, just modern for current day. Let's get into further. Exclusionary zoning and de facto redlining. The historical black codes explicitly prohibited black people from buying or renting property in certain areas to maintain segregation. To maintain it. I believe segregation was the best thing for us. I really do. When we integrated, I think we lost a lot of our power. I'm just saying. The modern status today, explicit racial bans are illegal under the Fair Housing Act, but segregation and wealth blocking are maintained through exclusionary zoning laws and algorithmic bias. And that's true. Zoning laws across everything, education, businesses, community programs. These zoning laws really, really, really block a lot of things for black people. It's crazy how it works. The municipalities use single-family zoning restriction to ban the construction of affordable multifamily housing in well-funded areas, keeping those neighborhoods economically and racially segregated. Furthermore, hey, Scholar. Furthermore, where was I? Furthermore, modern banking algorithms, predatory lending practices continue to deny conventional mortgages to black applicants at higher rates, or even value homes in black neighborhoods significantly lower than identical homes in white neighborhoods, shifting generational wealth. And that's true. And the reason I'm going over this black code, because I'm also going to give you the history of the hair industry for black people who originally had this, and how they lost it, and how it transitioned from the hands of black people to the Asian community, and with the help of our government. So this boycott that black people are trying to arrange, promote, and activate is important. We have to let these people know that this time around, we're not playing. It's no more protesting. There's no more political fights, because Democrat, Republican, they're all the same, and we're not included in their plan. We're only we're not included in their plan of evolving into a better life. We're included in their plan to continue oppressing us, to make sure that we don't go nowhere. I can't go to the store, no store, and find a black owner not where I live. I see other people. All right, I'm gonna get to you, Christopher. I see other people. I can't do it on here. All right, I'll get to you. I see other people in our neighborhood where I gotta purchase. Some are nice, yes. But not a lot of them input into our community. Some of these stores that the Arabs have, they're pushing drugs. They have our little black boys out here selling it. Whack ass weed and something called Gava, whatever the hell that is. Before it was K2. They were the pushers of K2. 125th and Lex. Yes, the pushers for that. So it's just crazy. And the blacks that do own businesses, they're not American blacks. And that's a pro and con with that situation as well, because across the board, as Mama T spoke yesterday, we all suffered by the hands of the colonizers. We all did. We all did, black and brown, even the Asian community. And that's where it's crazy that they come here and they do what they do. Because we went over there and we blew up a whole state. We killed a lot of people. Vietnam. All these wars that we have where we try to go and monopolize other people's lands. It's crazy. It's insane. And we gotta wake up. We gotta take back our power. We really do. And boycotting, I think, is so powerful because we make up in the purchasing power trillions of dollars. That's a lot, because a lot of us is out here purchasing past our dollars. We're out here with $2,000 and $3,000 pocketbooks, and we only got 2 cents and a lot of dust. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not criticizing, but I'm criticizing. We have to be more wiser in the things that we purchase. We go into these stores, these Louis Vuittons, these Gucci's, these Hermes. What else? What's that damn jewelry store with the blue box? So I don't even go in these stores. I forget the name of it. What's the name of that store with the blue box that have all this supposedly high-end jewelry? Cartier. My mother-in-law worked in Cartier, and yeah, whatever. Just all these high-end stores. You come in, they really don't want your money. They watch you from the time you walk in until the time you walk out. You don't get the same service as a Caucasian or any other culture walk in that's not black. We have to watch this. We have to watch this. So let's continue on. Code words and code rhetoric. Because explicit racial bias is socially and legally penalized, modern oppression relies heavily on coded language to justify discriminatory policies to the public. Language. Again, coded language. Language is a big part of this takeover too. And that's for another time to get into that. But language was definitely the key component to taking everything from us. The modern status. Policies that disproportionately harmed black communities are framed under neutral sounding civic virtues. How it works. Law and order or gang enhancements, often used to justify aggressive military-style policing and stop and frisk policies in specific zone codes. Now, I remember the stop and frisk. My kids was teenagers, and it was crazy. It was. They stick their dogs out on these young black boys, and they could just be standing there, shit talking, and they would pull up. And in my hood, it was this little black sports car, and I believe they were 2 white guys, or they could have been 2 Hispanics. They would come so aggressively on them. I know one time I was crossing the street. I was shopping, and I went to cross the street, and this same black car, very familiar, pulled up, but it pulled up so aggressively to approach this young man. And it scared the mess out of me because they got out the car aggressively, not surfacing their surroundings, not watching who's around them, and they really went at this dude. And that's how they operated. It was crazy. So neighborhood characters used by city councils to block affordable housing development. And they're doing it big time now. Affordable housing now in New York, your income have to be, what, 70, 80,000 minimum? Really? It's not a lot of black people that's making that kind of money. And if they are, they're working long hours and 2 jobs. And I'm serious. In order to live and live comfortably. It's just crazy. Election integrity. Used to justify cutting voting hours, closing polling places in predominantly black precincts, or enacting strict voters' ID laws that target minority voting power. Let's get into this voting thing. The voting system, to me, it wasn't made for us. Not at all. Again, I don't see it. I really don't. There's so much to say to this, and I don't want to offend a lot of people. So, yeah, it don't support us. Not at all. So let's get into this hair industry. There were two black women that developed the hair industry for black women. It was Annie Turnbull Malone, 1869 to 1957, and Madam C.J. Walker from 1867 to 1919. Annie Turnbull Malone founded the Poro Company, P-O-R-O Company, in St. Louis. She developed the Great Wonderful Hair Grower, a full line of specialized hair and scalp products for black women. And we need to get back into developing stuff like that and not giving away when it comes to us to buy our product. Sell it to them. Like, what is that lady? She claims she's taken her company. I'm not sure. Shea Moisturizer. I believe it's Shea Moisturizer. They had a beautiful, before she sold it to whoever, she had this beautiful store on 125th Street. You would love to just go in there and spend your money because the store was just so beautiful, and the decor. Then she had a back room where she provided services. I guess makeup artists or whatever. And that was gorgeous. It was just so classy. And the doors to her store were these big, elegant doors. Yo, it was just beautiful. If you didn't, when you go in that store, you was gonna buy something, because that's just how beautiful, and you wanted to celebrate that black sister. Definitely. So let's get into Madam C.J. Walker. The business. Born Sarah Breedlove, she initially worked as a sales agent for Annie Turbo Malone. Annie was...
Where's the thing between the,
hold on, guys. It's right there. On the shoe rack. Your mother's shoe rack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. She's doing her chores. So, Camry, could you close my door, please? Thank you. All right. So, let me get back into it. So, Madam C.J. Walker, government name is Sarah Breedlove. She initially worked as a sales agent for Annie Turbo Malone before launching her own line, Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. What? Okay. The impact that she had. She is widely recognized as America's first self-made millionaire. Walker created the Walker method of hair culture and established Lehigh College to train thousands of Walker agents. She leveraged her own immense wealth to fund civil rights initiatives, scholarships, and charitable organizations, including the NAACP, which I have no faith in today. Now that's awesome. That is really awesome. Let's get into how they both lost their business. Hold on. I don't have this in order. Not at all. Okay, so it says both Annie Turbo Malone and Madam C.J. Walker revolutionized America business by creating multi-level district sales distribution networks entirely owned and operated by black women. We need to get back there. At a time when mainstream retail stores refused to stock black products, Target, and traditional employment for black women was largely restricted to domestic service. Cleaning their shit. Malone and Walker bypassed the system entirely. They turned... They turned their customers into their sales force, creating a massive self-sustaining economic engine. Annie Turbo Malone built the blueprint. She realized that selling products door to door herself was limited, so she institutionalized her sales method by establishing Poro College in St. Louis. And that's hair schools that we had popped up all over. White people took over. Let's move on. So let's get into it. The Poro system structure. The franchise college model. Malone established a massive centralized headquarters that included factory, a beauty school, a hotel, or auditorium space. This served as the training hub for her agents. The Poro agents, women were trained not just in how to apply products, but in personal grooming, etiquette, business management. This elevated the social standing of the agents in their communities. That was a powerful school, very powerful. The local franchise, I'm getting hot, yo. The air conditioner's not working. Sorry. Let me fix that. Over my tank top. Don't want to show all my goodies. The local franchise networks, graduates return to their home cities across the United States, South America, and the Caribbean to open local Pearl Beauty shops or operate as independent traveling agents, purchasing wholesale supplies directly from Malone's centralized factory. We had our own factory where we got our supplies from. Yeah, we need to get back to that. Okay, so that was Malone. Let's get into C.J. Walker, Madam C.J. Walker. Scaling and professionalizing the network, who originally started as a Poro agent under Malone, took the direct sales model and scaled it aggressively, using sophisticated marketing, localized organizing, and structural financial incentives. We were some powerful people, you hear me? What happened? Why are we sitting on our power? The things that we could be doing. You talk about leveling up. If we create our own community cells and really tap into our gifts and our talent, we could develop our own black businesses. Will it be easy? Hell no. Nothing for us has ever been easy under this umbrella. Will they try to stop us? Hell yeah. But we need to operate differently. We can't do the same as before. And we need people that's really pro-black. We don't want no more snakes in the grass. You know, we need to weed out those who are happy to succumb to this system that's oppressing black people. Because not all black people is going to agree with this boycott. And not a lot of black people have the intelligence or the balls or the fire in them to build a business or build a community cell. I'm thinking about pulling out my son's printer and making copies and handing them out on the corner stores of the liquor store. The liquor stores on the corner where all the alcoholics are standing, waiting to get in to get their liquor, handing out flyers to boycott, to let them know, yo, put that down or find another place to go buy your liquor, but don't buy it here. I'm really thinking about it. You know, so yeah, I'm telling you, I'm really thinking about it. Going to the Chinese bodega. I have a Chinese bodega in my hood. A lot of black people don't go there anyway, but we gotta just remind them, don't cross the threshold. You know, hand out flyers there. We got Chinese restaurants, hand out flyers there. Make people aware. Everybody's not aware of what's going on, and that's a sad thing. You know, the hen club that sit on the bench and talk about everybody walking past, how they look, who they came home with, why they ain't got no job. They have no clue as to what is going on in this world. They so dumb. I was drinking water. Let me show you something. I was drinking this water here. I took the label off because this bottle is very important. It's blue. And she's gonna ask me, does the water taste better? And I said, yeah, it kind of tastes better. It does. It has a smoother taste versus a Poland. So then she asked me how much it was, and I believe the bottle of water is like $3. I'm never gonna spend that kind of money like that. All the water is the same, and it could be, and it could not be. You know, but just the dumb conversation is crazy. So, yeah. And I call them type of people hen clubs. I really do. Those are the hen clubs. So I hope you're not part of no hen club. All right, so let's get into Walker's system. Recruitment and enrollment. Walker targeted working class black women, laundress, maids, sharecroppers, offering them a path to earn up to 10 times what they were making in domestic services. Women enrolled in her Lelia College, Lelia College, centers to become certified hair culturalist, culturist, culturalist. The name is fire. The title, the system kit. Upon graduation, agents purchased, you know what this is sounding like also? Mary Kay. The pink Cadillac type of shit. Her product. And it was basically made for white people. And black people got involved and was struggling to get that pink Cadillac. I even heard when I was living in Georgia that it was like a cult situation, to be careful getting involved in it because it was very cultish. So I don't know. So it says, upon graduation, agents purchased a standardized starter kit containing Walker's products, a heating comb, and marketing materials. It's crazy. It's just crazy. They operated as independent contractors, buying wholesale from the Walker manufacturing plant in Indianapolis, selling retail directly to consumers. Now it was now we're working on 2 distributors. Miss Malone, she was a distributor, and then C.J. Walker became a distributor. It could be done again. Door-to-door and parlor sales. Now, let me get into this. As a little girl, I never went to a hair salon. My mother knew people that did hair. On Easter, I went to the lady that gave everybody Shirley Temple curls. I was my mother's only girl, so she didn't know how to do my hair. I always had fuzzy hair, curly fuzzy hair. So she would send me to the lady in the hood and pay her to do my hair. So I didn't go to a salon till I was, I don't know, maybe 18 years old. I always was used to going to the neighborhood person that knew how to do hair. Always. And it would be laid and it would be taken care of. You wouldn't be scared to go get a wash and set that somebody's going to shampoo your hair with relaxer. The last time my granddaughter had her hair done, the first time she went to the salon, they did an excellent job because my daughter took her own products, her own shampoo, own conditioner. But the second time, my daughter was at work and I think Cameron was having an event, I think cheerleader or performance somewhere. So Cameron is older now. She don't want them twisties in her hair. She either want them damn boho braids or she want her shit straight so she could go like this, you know, so she could feel like, she's the shit. So she took her to one of the Dominican spots and she didn't have the product. Cameron didn't take the shampoo and conditioner. And I believe they washed her hair and relaxed her, because that's what they do. You gotta be careful. In New York City, you got to be careful. They will perm the shit out your hair without approval. When my daughter was pregnant with my granddaughter, my daughter's hair was always long, but it hit it. It was almost hitting her ass. And she looked so pretty. Oh, my baby looked so pretty. Until she went to this salon along with her friend, and it broke all her fucking hair off. And I was heated. Oh my God, I was so heated. Because my baby had that Indian papoose type of look. She was cute as a button with her newborn baby. Yes, she was fly as hell. For sure. So having our own product, having our own people to go to do our hair, to understand black people's hair. Black people's hair range from all kind of textures. My hair went through so many phases, from thick, fuzzy, curly hair to wavy, fuzzy, curly hair to now straight. In the front of my hair is straight. Look at this, straight with locks. That's crazy, right? I tell you, straight. So we go through changes, and people have to understand us. Education. Though my granddaughter do have some black teachers, but I don't understand them. Some of them, I don't know. I almost had to chew one up, but it wasn't my place. I had to be quiet. But education system, that's another discussion I just don't have time for. Let's move on. We're going to leave that alone. So, the power of local. Now, this word is always hard for me to pronounce, especially because it's heavy in the spiritual community, but I'm going to try to pronounce it. Benevolence. The power of local benevolent clubs, meaning loving. To keep agent loyal and motivated, Walker organized them into a localized C.J. Walker Benevolent Association. These clubs function like modern corporate branches, but with community focus, offering bonuses for high sales alongside cash prizes for agents who did most charity work in their neighborhoods. These are the things that we did. We developed businesses, but it was community businesses. We build and we extended out to help others to build. Where is the unity? Where is the unity? Talk to me, people. Talk to me. Let's see what it says. Okay. The core pillars of their success. Both women succeeded because the distribution system was built on three core principles that any modern community-based business can emulate. Talk to me. Principle number 1, vertical integration. How they applied. They owned the formulas, the manufacturing plants, the packaging facilities, and shipping networks. The economic results. They kept 100% of manufacturing profits within the black economy rather than paying outside middlemen. Wholesale to retail pipeline. Agents, how they apply. Agents bought inventory upfront at a steep wholesale discount and sold it to consumers at a fixed retail price. Economic result. The agents kept the profit margin immediately, providing them with daily liquid cash flow. Liquid cash flow is so important. That paper shit is nothing but an illusion. Jay-Z, billionaire. Paper, illusion. He might be a millionaire. He might have been a millionaire. But he damn sure, liquid-wise, is not a billionaire. I guarantee it. So we look up to them as our models, and that's another topic too. So we won't get into that either. Principle number 3, the trainer model. How they applied. Top tier agents were certified to teach new recruits, earning a percentage of status boost for expanding the network. Economic results. The business could scale into cities nationwide without requiring the founders to be physically present. The takeaway for today, Malone and Walker did not wait for traditional retail spaces or banks to accept them. They built a closed-loop economic cell where the manufacturer, the distributor, and salesperson, and the consumer were all part of the same community, keeping the dollar circulating internally. All right. So, let's discuss how they lost it. How did it shift? It was a lot of personal things that went on, and the oppressive clouds and the government played a big part on how this business transitioned from their hand into the Asian community. Let's get into it. The shift in control of the black beauty and hair care industry from pioneers like Miss Malone and Madam C.J. Walker to the Asian community, specifically Korean, Chinese, and Indian entrepreneurs and distributors, didn't happen overnight. It was not a single platform taken away by force, but rather the result of gradual, systematic economic shift that occurred over several decades. The transition happened through a combination of internal corporate change, shifting global manufacturing dynamics, and explicit government interventions. Now, some of them had personal issues too, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. Internal corporate declines and corporate sales. Neither Malone or Walker had their platforms stolen by competitors during their lifetime. The original empire shrank due to standard corporate vulnerabilities, taxes, and generational transition. Generational transition. Remember that. Remember that. We are our own enemies. Our own enemies. Our own enemies. And men, y'all are something else. That's all I'm going to say. Something else. Annie Turbo Malone, in the late 1920s and 1930s, Malone faced a highly publicized, expensive divorce from a husband who demanded half the company. Concurrently, she faced massive lawsuits from former employees and owed significant back taxes to the federal government. In 1951, the IRS seized control of Poro College to settle those tax debts, effectively dismantling the physical empire. Now that's how she lost hers. I wonder, was her husband contributing to her business? Yeah, I'm gonna do a research on that, on her husband, to see what he was doing, or was he living off of her wealth? And then probably was doing something he had no business doing. I'm just saying, you know. And she divorced him, or he couldn't handle her success. Men, y'all need to get stronger. Y'all need a backbone. That's another different conversation. And during this lawsuit, her employees turned on her too. Now, I don't know what was the significant problem that she was having with her employees, but they sued her too. And then she owed taxes. So, you know, in these issues, there's always a machine behind it motivating this chaos and mess. But that's another conversation. Hold on for 1 second. I need to charge you up. And now I'm going to have to hold you in my hand because I don't want to mess up my charger. Bend it. So just listen to me. I got you holding in my hand. So let's get into Madam C.J. Walker, how she lost her company. Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company remained successful long after her death in 1919, operated by her descendants. However, by the 20th century, as the retail landscape changed and direct door-to-door sales declined, the family eventually sold the trademark. They probably was pushed to sell the trademark. So this also requires a little bit more digging. Today, the brand is owned by Sundial Brands, a subsidiary of the multinational corporation Unilever. Yeah, we gotta look at that. At these original closed loops, direct sales networks faded, the beauty supply industry shifted away from independent agents and toward brick and mortar retail stores. Phase 2, that was phase 1. Now here go phase 2. The South Korean global manufacturing monopoly. In the 1960s and 1970s, the global supply chain for hair products underwent a massive shift driven by government policies in South Korea. Right. The export ban. South Korea government placed strict bans on the export of raw hair. Instead, they mandated that the hair must be processed, manufactured into wigs and extensions internally, and exported only as finished goods. So I wonder where they making the hair then. I don't think they were when I don't know. Because no, they weren't dealing with them at that time. Gotta find out the history as to when wigs came to play. The U.S. trade agreement. The U.S. government established favorable trade agreements with South Korea while simultaneously placing an embargo on products from China. This effectively gave South Korea manufacturers a global monopoly on the production of synthetic and human extensions. All right. Come on. All right. Let's continue. Vertical integration. Because South Korea manufacturers controlled 100% of the production, they held absolute power over who could buy the goods wholesale, and they still holding that power. They're still holding that power. It's crazy, right? Let's continue. The third phase. Okay. Sorry. Phase 3, the domination of the domestic supply chain. Once South Korea manufacturers controlled the production of hair, immigrants from South Korea moved into the United States and began opening beauty supply stores, completely transforming the domestic distribution network. Controlling the wholesale gate, South Korea distributors established tight-knit, closed business networks. Manufacturers in Asia preferred to sell directly to distributors of their own nationality. This is what we're going through. Oh my God. Those distributors in turn offered favorable credit terms, bulk discounts, exclusive product access to retail store owners within their own community network. Bypassing black retailers, black entrepreneurs attempting to open beauty supply stores frequently found themselves locked out of the supply chain. Wholesalers would often refuse to sell to black store owners, charge them significantly higher prices, or refuse them the credit line necessary to stock their inventory. Do you hear me? Are you listening? My goodness. The storefront monopoly. Because they control both the manufacturing in Asia and the wholesale distribution in the United States, Asian immigrants was able to rapidly scale brick and mortar storefronts directly inside black neighborhoods, capturing the retail profit of an industry where black consumers accounted for the vast majority of spending. Come on. Are you with me? Listen up. Let's get into phase 4. India and the raw hair market. While Korea dominated synthetic hair manufacturing, India became the epicenter for the premium raw hair market. The tonsuring tradition. I don't know what that means. Gotta look that up. In South India, temples like Tirumala, Venkateswara practice tonsuring, a religious ritual where millions of pilgrims shave their heads as an act of devotion. This is how the human hair came to play. Corporate processing. Temples harvest this massive, steady stream of high-quality, untreated hair and auction it to the global processing corporation, largely based in India and in China. These factories process, bundle, and export the hair worldwide, controlling the luxury end of black hair extension market. Gotta shut these motherfuckers down. You hear me? The economic lesson. The platform wasn't lost because black consumers stopped buying. It was lost because the manufacturing and the wholesale distribution networks were captured by outside groups who vertically integrated the supply chain. Malone and Walker succeeded because they owned the factories and the distributors. When the community lost control of the factories and the wholesale supply lines, control of the retail storefronts eventually, and it followed behind. I can't pronounce that word. I got a little tongue-tied issue. Okay, so let me pull this off and set you back. So I want to go over that so you can understand. The Black Code was created to keep us oppressed. And that was in 1865, when it was created. So now it's modernized. And it's really coming into play. Excuse me. So this industry where this man killed this young boy, they always target us as thieves. Yeah, sometimes we'll go in the store and steal. We do. And it could be because they're hungry or they thirsty. I don't know. I don't know why we do, but, whatever. It's no excuse, and I don't want to excuse it because we're oppressed. So if we go into your store and pick up a cupcake, oh, wow. You in my hood, you owe me that cupcake. That's how I feel. So, but I don't condone it. Don't do it. Anyway, but you shoot this boy, they say you ran after him in the length of a football field. He ran a long ways behind this young boy and shot him in the back. In the back. And this wasn't Rick, what's his name? We're going to get into him too. A little bit. I got information on him too. What was his name? Rick Chow? Yo, my air conditioner is not working. I'm getting hot. I ain't going to be on here too long. I can't take the heat. Rick Chow, who shot this boy in the back. And let me just give you a little information on that, just in case you guys are not aware. Regarding the 2023 shooting, so this is 2026. This happened 3 years ago. So look how long it took them to have the trial on this. Oh, they knew this was going to be they knew. And if they do that young man, Carmelo Anthony, wrong because he defended himself from that bully ass little boy, they're going to try to. That's another conversation. I tell you, I get too passionate. I get too. Okay, so let's get into Cyrus Carmack Belton by convenience store owner Cheeky Rick Chow in Columbia, South Carolina. The Richland County jury returned an unanimous not guilty verdict on murder charges, acquitting Chow. Key details of the trial. I don't know if I want to get into that. The incident in May 2023, Chow and his son confronted Carmack Belton inside the store, falsely suspecting him of shoplifting water bottles. A chase ensued outside the property, during which Chow shot Carmack Belton in the back. Defense argument. Chow legal team successfully argued self-defense. Where was the self-defense? The boy was running. Where was the self-defense? Oh my God, you shot him in the fucking back. And defense of others. They maintained that during the pursuit, Carmack Belton pointed a loaded semi-automatic pistol at Chow's son, forcing Chow to make a split-second decision. Let's get into it. Prosecutor acknowledged that, he did have a firearm. Acknowledged that Carmel had a firearm, but argued it had fallen to the ground during the chase, and that he was actively running away when the shot in the back. They noticed surveillance footage confirmed the teenager had not stolen anything from the fucking store. And he did have a firearm, and maybe he was, well, I don't think at 14 you're allowed to carry. I don't know. Community response. The acquittal sparked immediate protests outside the now closed convenience store. They shut his ass down. I think they burnt his fucking gas station convenience store down. Civil rights leaders and the victim's family expressed profound disappointment with the verdict, and the family attorneys announced intentions to pursue a civil lawsuit. Now, I heard, what's that black lawyer? I forget his name. He always popping up. Shit, that bald-headed fucker. And Al Shelton, I hear that they're very silent. Them are Boule black handlers. They are placed to make sure shit don't get activated. So we don't want to hear from them. Ben Crump, that's his name, Ben Crump. Yeah, I wouldn't have him defend me for anything, because he's not, my better interest is not in his concern. So this is the reason why this protest is being requested. And so there's a lot of black people on here that got platforms that can strike up a conversation about this. Put the gossip aside. Let's stop worrying about what the next person is doing and how they're doing it and when they're doing it. Let's put that to the side. You can always pick that back up. But let's start discussing this. Let's start discussing the things that is being taken away. Let's start developing communities, cell communities, where you can reach out and find out where are your black chemists that can create products for the black community. We have black chemists out here. We have a lot of Howard graduated. Howard and Morgan State. I think those. A lot of black people into science. Where is the people that is great in cooking? What happened to that community where on Fridays we had at least 2 or 3, 4 people we could go to and get a dinner? We got a lot of black makeup artists and a lot of people that know how to do nails and hair. And then unfortunately, because this is going to be a community thing, you can't utilize celebrity prices. You can't charge your neighbor next door who may not be making celebrity status money $2,000 and $3,000 to do their hair or their nails. You got to come down on the pricing. Let's try to have our prices according to what certain things are sold in the store. Depending on the fabric, depending on the way it's made. Hopefully everybody do their gift and their talent and good integrity and morals and give it their best and they all. We need that candy lady again. We need that icy lady again. They're taking people off the street. Even the Mexicans, they be on the street in the morning sometime. They out there. And they're women. We do it. They out there selling their breakfast, whatever it is, in their shopping cart. And, sometimes the cops come and take their shit away from them. It's crazy. We just have to develop that community. And not all black people going to join. And we know that we have a lot of, and I have to be careful with my words because YouTube have shut me down for this certain word. Raccoon. You know, we can't, it's a lot of black people that can't see because the forest, the trees, the grass is in front of their eyesight, or they're so money hungry, reaching for that level up of a millionaire. So you succumb to whatever is given to you. You be that Uncle Tom. You'll be that brownie lover. It happens in the corporate world. You know, I worked for a union, and I worked in the pension and the health department. It was crazy. You know, the things we do for, we lose ourselves in so many ways. So there's a lot of platforms on here, and we gotta wise up. Let's change our dialogue. Let's talk about the things that's going on in life that's affecting us. I don't give a fuck what Susie doing over there. I don't care what Billy Bob doing over there. Billy Bob, what can you do for this black community, your black ass? Susie Q, can you cook? Susie Q, are you a seamstress? Can you make some outfits? Can we show these kids how to DIY upcycle? Because look, the fashion industry is taking our designs. You know, all this upcycling styles that the fashion industry is now utilizing that's on the walkway come from urban kids. Going to the thrift shop, taking two outfits and putting them together and making a badass motherfucking outfit. And now it's on the runway. And they charging thousands and thousands of dollars. Yo, we gotta do it for ourselves. We really do. We gotta stop worrying about what the next person is doing and how they got there and stuff. Because we really don't know how people living. You know, however you got your millions, and me being envious or jealous on how you gained your status. I don't know what ass you kissed, who you killed, how many cutting sessions you had, how many nights you lost sleep. You lost your hair, you lost your life to get where you got to go. Do you think I want to go through that pain that you went through? We have to stop thinking that way. We have to come together. You know, people get to their status, and however they get there, it's not easy. You know, stop worrying about it. And if you're interested in how they got there, hey, instead of talking and gossiping about them, can you tell me how you got there? Can you share that with me? And majority of the time, sometimes they're not going to share, but then that's fine, because there's going to be someone we have to learn when we get to that plateau to turn around and extend your hand and pull up the next person. Yo, we have to come together, or they're going to destroy us. And damn if I'm going to become a slave for a motherfucker. Ain't no way. I'm not going to be working on nobody's motherfucking plantation. And not now one of my motherfucking grandkids are. So we black people have to fucking wake up. Stop worrying about what the next one is fucking doing. And you do. And I'm shaking the table. Respectfully, of course. There's too many black platforms on here talking shit about each other. And we need to be talking about the things that we need to do together to build for our communities. where we live, so things don't be taken away from us. You can keep your shit because we got our own. That's where we need to be standing. And with that, this conversation is over. Scholar, if you're still out there, thank you for your support. You're an awesome dude. I appreciate you. Glad to meet you. I'm going to go over there and check out your channel. I'm not into boxing, sir. No more. But I hear that you be having some great topics, so I'm going to go over there and visit you and see what you talk about. I hear that your platform as well is big, so, you know, this is a clarion call for you too, my brother, as well. Yeah. We need to just come together. We need to just stop being under the spell of these people. What I'm about to say, I hope I don't offend nobody, but it's just simple facts, okay? So please don't be offended. This is out of love. A lot of black platforms on here, they be fighting against each other, trying to destroy each other's lives, all in the name of YouTube. And YouTube does nothing about it. But whether they do anything about it or not, you guys have to look back and see how you guys look. To the corporate office of YouTube, you're making them thousands of dollars to be foolish on this platform, not utilizing this platform for your own benefits, as long as you got this platform, because eventually you're not going to have this platform either. They're going to take all platforms away. So that's another thing we're going to have to do, is develop our own platform for us to have a voice and to speak. But we have to stop also succumbing to the foolery, being their entertainment, watching us just tear each other down because this is what they want. You're not doing anything positive on here. You're just tearing each other down. Some of you can't even sleep. Some of you stay on here for hours just battling each other or talking about Susie or Bobby. It has to stop. We got to start thinking right. We really do. And this is not to offend you, because I do be entertained by it to a certain degree. I'm entertained till I'm not entertained no more, because sometimes it just really goes left and it gets a little too crazy. But we have to stop doing that. We really do. We have to do better to get better. When we're given this platform, it's a free platform. And no, when you're speaking like this, the masses, not a lot of people is going to come and run to hear it. But a lot of y'all have a large platform. And you're very engaging. You're very persuasive. People tend to rely on your words. And that's a powerful tool when you use it in a positive way. Because you don't develop this community that look up to you, that rely on to you. So if you do a shift and say, hey, we're going to leave this chaos alone for a minute. Let's get a little bit serious. Let's talk about what's going on in our black community. Let's put Susie Q and Bobby Q on the shelf for now. They're going to still be who they are, and we'll get back to them bitches and motherfuckers. Let's talk about what's going on and how they're trying to stop us from living. Let's get to that. And then Susie and Bobby Q will always be there. Especially if they still stuck in the clouds. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a clarion call. I'm asking all platforms to please promote this boycott. This boycott to me is a little bit more important than Target. Target was the model that it can be done. Now, let's shake up the fucking system, okay? Because the government supported them to come in and control this industry. So now let's shut them down. They said that we need them. It's a video. I'm going to post it. I'm going to find it. Where this young Asian guy talking bull crap. Much Miyalda. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I want better. And I just hope you guys do too. Well, I'm out and talk till my throat is dry. I got cotton mouth now. I thank you for those who may be watching or will watch later. Please know your history so you can understand why certain things is done. And let's do better. Let's not entertain those elites. Let's not be who they think we are. We were here first. We created everything. It's so much to learn. It's so much to talk about regarding who we are. But just don't take my word. Always study to show yourself approved. Don't always take everybody's word. Study to show yourself approved at all times. Find out who you are. Find out who you were before the 1700s. Yeah. Find out who you were before the 1700s. Find out who you were when the world was just a void. Before Genesis 1:1. Yeah, look into that too. We can't just go by what people say. You gotta do the research for yourself. And whatever you come to understand is what you understand, because it's your journey, your life journey, your spiritual journey, because we're spiritual beings. Spiritual. What's going on? Hold on. I think I gotta plug in my laptop. Hold on. Unplug my phone. Bear with me. And plug the laptop. Yeah, okay. It brightened up. We just gotta do better. You know, we really do. We gotta change our conversations. Let's shake up YouTube. You know? They're already gonna take some of your channels because we're not following their guideline or how they want you to submit videos. I don't know. I really don't care anymore about this shit. As long as I'm able to touch those who I need to touch and provide information that I think is important for you guys to know. That's it. That's all I could tell you. It gets a little disappointing. But try to develop those conversations on your panels. Y'all have a great day. I'm thirsty. Talk to you later. It's no flesh. And I approve this message. Later. Do you want to end? Yeah, I want to end.